Yep, triathlon challenge sub 2 is suffering. Itchy, itchy, scratchy. Oh, shingles. Almost done. I don't feel much pain, but it's just so itchy. Hello, Leute. Hab Gürtel, Gürtelhose und ja, juckt mega. Yeah. Today, I would like to tell you guys about drafting legal triathlon tips using an example of Berlin Triathlon because it's a very unique race. Usually, for age groupers race triathlon races, drafting is not legal. But there are some races where you can actually drop behind someone, and the dynamics is quite different. So I'm going to use an example of Berlin Triathlon, which I'm going to do on the 15th of August. By the way, I've got a sort of course preview sort of video a few weeks back, 2 weeks ago, I think. So if you are interested in the course, have a look at that. Ich habe schon ein Video auf die Strecke gemacht. Das war vor ein paar Wochen. Bitte checken Sie das Video. Aber heute paar Tipps, wie kann man so ein bisschen sportlich rennen. Für Anfänger auch. Aber ja, heute spreche ich auf Englisch, weil das ist für nicht nur für Berlin Triathlon, aber für viele Leute. So, yeah, it's drafting legal triathlon. It's quite unusual, but yeah, I thought it'd be good to make an interesting video on for beginners as well, because I don't think there are any videos available on YouTube, because the format is usually not for beginners. But of course, if beginners do this kind of race, there'll be a huge surprise. So I thought it would be really good to put some tips together. So first, swimming. If it's starting from the start line on the land, just make sure you know how to run in the water, high knees, and after that dolphin. What's that called? Dolphin jumps. Yeah, I think so. I can't remember the name in English. Anyway, if it's floating start, please try to float in the water. In the training, try to float in the water for like 5 minutes, then sprint. Because if you're not used to it, it's quite a bit of challenge. Yeah, your body will thank you for that. Just floating in the water for a long time, then suddenly sprinting because everyone else does. That's gonna be a shock in your system. So even if you're a beginner, or maybe especially if you're a beginner, please do practice. Because when everyone else around you just go so fast, especially like from behind, you are forced to do that because you don't want to panic. You kind of want to practice that. Sighting, just to see where you're going, is very important. For that, if it's sunny day, I would use mirrored goggles, and if it's a cloudy day, I use more clear goggles. So I usually have two pairs, and yeah, I can choose depending on the day because sighting is very, very important. If you don't know where you're going, you end up just swimming like 200 meters more in Olympic distance swim. That would be a disaster. And also use anti-fog um, spray for your goggles or liquid, whatever. They definitely gonna help. Um, Another thing, when you're swimming around the buoys, try not to get too close to the buoys because other competitors gonna come close to the buoy, and often you get stuck inside these people. Especially if your body is small, try to go around a bit. I'm pretty sure you can swim around way faster that way because you won't get blocked by bigger people. Towards the end of the swim, kick a bit more so you get more blood into your legs. Um, that's gonna be good when you actually stand up and run, because your legs have got more blood. If it's sprint distance or super sprint, you probably don't have to worry about that because you'll be just kicking all the way through. But for the T1, run as fast as you can, not to miss a pack in front of you. If you are ahead of a big group, that's okay. But if you are at the back of a group, even if you're not so competitive, if you want an easy ride or easier ride, try to catch up to the front, because riding in a group, in a draft or without a draft, that's gonna make a hell a lot of difference. So yeah, often there's a bit of run course between the end of the swim and T1, and especially for Berlin Triathlon, that stretch is quite long. It's almost like more than a K, 1 kilo, 1 kilometer. If you put the run leg from the end of the swim to the exit of T1. So yeah, just make sure you're not gonna miss a pack, because that's gonna make a huge difference in draft legal races. I'm pretty sure you might have thought about that, but yeah, it's a huge. Um, for the same reason, if you want to be competitive, try to learn how to fly mount. I've made a video like ages ago, so just go through the videos. I might put a link in the description if I don't forget, because I'm taking quite a bit of meds at the moment. I just tend to forget. And obviously I can't do more detailed stuff, so excuse myself. Yeah, and if you can't fly mount, or you need to just stop and get on the bike, try not to do that on just at the line. Just go a bit further or to the side so you actually make a way for others. I've seen so many times that people do that right in the middle, and other people come from behind and just get smashed into them. It's not pretty. And just to avoid that kind of accent, just go to the side. That's good for everyone. Good. And yeah, flying mount. If you can't do it straight, you really have to practice and get used to it. And you don't hit other people on the side. I've seen so many times. Even I got injured by another guy in a race, even before flying mount. He just smashed his front wheel to me, and my big toenail, was pretty much taken away. Ouch. Ugh. During the bike, draft legal races tend to be more laps, like mini laps. So I would say cycling computer is a must, especially if you're riding in a fast group. Yeah, because if you get lapped, you get different information from other people, and yeah, you kind of don't want to miss a lap and get to know that after you finish and you get disqualified. I thought about other ways, ways to do it. Put a rubber band on your bike, and just every lap you just put that on your wrist or something like that. But yeah, cycle computer is not that expensive. If you look for a budget one, it's highly recommended. Yeah, without that, when you're racing, unless you're riding at a very sort of slow recreational pace and keeping your head cool, in my experience, even like highly trained guys, they've always asked, how many laps? How many laps? And when you're not sure when you finish, it's it's hard. It's hard to focus. Good. I've mentioned about riding a pack is really makes it a lot easier. But if you're not used to riding in a pack, it's a very difficult thing to do. You get really scared. To avoid that, maybe in a group or even in two people can do this practice. Just ride very closely and put shoulder against shoulders. That kind of reduces the fear because you get used to ride very close to someone else. Try that, and once you get used to it, just try to do that when you're riding quite fast, and that's gonna help you. When you're scared, you tend to take kind of bad lines, and that these decisions kind of make your ride quite stressful, and yeah, not gonna be so much fun. So yeah, I recommend you to do that if you're not used to it. And if you're capable of riding a pack, join a rotation. You don't have to keep like 5 minutes at the front of the pack. You can just keep like 10 seconds at the front of the pack and just go around 10 seconds and go around. Everyone shares 10 seconds, so we can all keep really good pace. Yeah, join me if you're doing Berlin Triathlon. Join me to do that, so I can hopefully go under 2 hours. Considering my shingles gonna go away and I can resume the training soon. At the moment, I can't do anything. At least 4 weeks of no training. Yeah. Anyway, being there, done that. I find a way. Yeah, and if you can't ride fast, just keep yourself to a side. And if you're overtaking a slower rider, just make sure no one's coming from behind. If the course is really narrow, it really helps. I've seen numerous times kind of mid-pace rider trying to take over a slow rider, and fast riders come from behind, and yeah, you can imagine how dangerous that is. Just it's like driving on a autobahn. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then coming to T2, um, because there will be a bit of congestion when you get off the bike. Try to take your feet out of your shoes early enough. Before the race, you can see, or on a course map, you can see where would be a good place to take your shoes off. Of course, if you're not gonna um, take shoes off and just get off the bike like how we usually do, that won't be a problem. But if you're in a fast pack, try to do that at the end of the pack, because if you are right at the front of the pack and if you try to get off the bike after completely stopping right in front of the group, that's gonna be a disaster, because everyone else is gonna come off the bike without shoes. So that means they're not gonna stop. And imagine if you just stop right in the middle of it, everyone's gonna smash into you. So that's not gonna be pretty. So if you are going to get off the bike with the shoes, try to place yourself right at the back. That's gonna be safe for everyone. Yeah, that I've seen it, and because of pressure from other people, there's people who try to get their shoes off the bike, and these bicycle shoes with cleats are very slippery, and I have seen people just tripping over. Not pretty. Um, yeah. So for that, I try to learn how to get off the bike without shoes. Um, and in a T2, um, I suggest to run without socks, because putting socks on might take quite a bit of time. If it's a mid or long distance triathlon, that's okay. But up to Olympic distance, I wouldn't run with socks on. And also for saving time, I always use elastic shoelaces. That's gonna save so much time. And if you use shoelaces to tighten your feet properly, you can run fast without any problems. If it's half marathon or full marathon, yeah, I would use proper running shoes. Or oh no, I actually don't. I just use elastic shoelaces. Yeah, but with socks on. So when it comes to the run, I highly recommend you guys to do break sessions. Break sessions are like doing bike ride, then run, like 50k ride, and you run 5k off the bike, that kind of things. That's break sessions. These are break sessions. For drafting legal short races, I also recommend you guys to do transition training. In German, it's Koppeltraining. Basically, you guys repeat like bike run repeats, sometimes with a rest in between sets, sometimes without. It's a really good training, because with this training, you actually push yourself to the red zone, high intensity. That's what you have to face during drafting legal races. Yeah. So transition training, I'd say like pure VO2 max kind of pace. It's always good. Otherwise, you get off the bike and run, and you just feel so sluggish, and it's awful feeling if you're not used to it. During the race, yeah, you're forced to get into that red zones if you're sort of competitive, even if you're a beginner. And yeah, when your legs are tired, especially after hard peaks during the bike, because these lap bike courses with many laps, you tend to have sharp turns, or sometimes often 180-degree turns. You burn your matches, and your legs will be really, really tired. In that kind of situation, just try to bring up your cadence, your stride rate, just quick turnover. That's gonna help you even if your legs are tired. Yeah. So that was my sort of tips for draft legal races. I hope these tips are going to help you guys. And yeah, if you're German, yeah, if you're doing Berlin Triathlon, then hopefully these tips are going to help you. We've got about 2.5 months to go, and yeah, you can train these things over this month. And yeah, so see you in the next video.